All the soldiers on the castle's high wall were fully prepared to face the danger coming straight toward them. This wasn't just one or two creatures. There were millions of them. They were climbing the massive wall and moving in to kill everyone inside. As the threat got closer, countless soldiers fired their arrows at the same time. The arrows tore straight through the bodies of many creatures, but the creatures didn't stop. They kept charging toward the castle. The people inside quickly realized that if these creatures managed to climb over the wall, they would bring death to everyone in an instant. So they covered huge stones with oil, set them on fire, and launched them with siege machines toward the creatures. The burning rocks flew through the air at high speed and slammed directly into the swarm. Just then, the queen of the creatures moved the upper part of her body. The signal was immediately understood by every creature. They had to keep advancing. Before long, some of the creatures climbed the giant wall and reached the top of the castle. They instantly attacked the soldiers stationed there. The soldiers fought back with everything they had, but they were no match for the creatures' strength. The situation quickly became worse than anyone had expected. In the middle of this chaos, we see two men named William and Tyler. Their hands were tied up. Suddenly, they noticed an old man hiding behind a wall. William immediately shouted to him, "Untie us! Cut these ropes! Free our hands!" As soon as he heard that, the old man used a sharp weapon to cut the ropes. The moment William was free, he grabbed a large spear and drove it straight into a creature's body. A second creature instantly lunged at him, trying to kill him. William took aim and stabbed directly into the creature's eye, destroying it. Nearby, a soldier was about to be killed by another creature. William quickly shoved the soldier with all his strength. The soldier was thrown out of the way and narrowly escaped death. Before long, William and Tyler had killed many of the creatures that had made it onto the castle wall. Then, on the other side of the wall, the queen of the creatures once again moved the upper part of her body. Immediately, every creature turned back and began retreating. Within a short time, they had all fled. As soon as the creatures were gone, the general praised William and Tyler for their bravery. The truth was that everyone was alive today because of them. It was William and Tyler who had warned the general that the creatures were preparing to attack. A few days earlier, William, Tyler, and two of their friends were sitting in a dark place discussing a weapon known as black powder. Black powder was a weapon so powerful that even a small spark was enough to eliminate a threat. But while they were talking, they suddenly felt something rush past them at incredible speed. Everyone immediately looked around. Then, in the blink of an eye, the mysterious threat killed William's two companions. Panicked, William and Tyler drew their swords. As the unknown creature charged at them again, William swung his sword and cut off one of its arms. The creature lost its balance and fell into a deep ravine below. William immediately picked up the severed arm and told Tyler they needed to get out of there. As soon as morning arrived, the two men mounted their horses and rode away. But before long, a group of enemy bandits started chasing them. These were the same men who had been hunting them for a long time. While trying to escape, William and Tyler reached a high cliff. From there, they saw a massive structure in front of them known as the Great Wall. Many soldiers were stationed on top of it. The soldiers immediately lit their arrows and surrounded the two men. William and Tyler were completely trapped. Enemy bandits were behind them, and unknown warriors stood in front of them. William turned to Tyler. "I think we should take our chances with the people in front of us." The two men dropped their weapons. Moments later, they were taken prisoner and brought inside the fortress. When the commanders of the Great Wall saw the severed arm William was carrying, fear instantly spread across their faces. They already knew exactly what kind of creature it belonged to. Commander Lin stepped forward and asked them, "Where did you get this arm?" William replied, "We didn't find it. I cut it off." But before that, the creature had already killed two of our companions. Hearing this made the commanders even more frightened. They knew that the creatures had returned after 60 years. Their name was Tao Tei. The moment William saw their reaction, he realized that whatever this creature was, it posed a massive threat. Just then, a soldier came running in. "We've spotted a huge number of creatures approaching from the wall." As soon as Commander Lin heard the news, he ordered every soldier to take their positions on the Great Wall with full battle gear. Meanwhile, William and Tyler were tied up and left sitting in one place. Soon, they saw millions of coyote advancing toward the fortress. The soldiers on the wall attacked them with volleys of arrows. Before long, the coyote began climbing the walls, but William and Tyler fought with incredible courage and managed to kill many of them. Because of this, the Tao Tei queen ordered the creatures to retreat. After the battle, William became a hero in everyone's eyes. Instead of remaining prisoners, he and Tyler were allowed to stay free. However, the danger was far from over. Everyone knew the Tao Tei would return and attack again. A short time later, while William was inside the fortress, the same soldier whose life he had saved approached him. The soldier thanked William for rescuing him from the Tao Tei. Later, William and Tyler met the same old man who had freed them earlier. The old man told them about himself. "I came here 25 years ago searching for black powder, but I was never able to leave this place." Then he showed William and Tyler a small sample of black powder. Even a tiny spark could create a powerful explosion. William and Tyler had heard stories about black powder before, but they had never actually seen it. The old man continued, "We need to work together. We need to take the black powder and escape from here. Once we get out, we can sell it and become rich." Tyler asked, "How are we supposed to escape?" The old man replied, "The Tao Tei will attack again very soon. When that happens, every soldier in the fortress will be busy defending the wall. That will be our best chance to leave. All the soldiers will be on top of the wall, and I know a secret path that leads out from the back of the fortress." But William was no longer willing to steal the black powder. A moment later, William and his companions were invited to join everyone for a meal. Just then, a commander asked William to demonstrate his skills. William turned to his friend and told him to toss a bowl into the air. The moment Tyler threw the bowl upward, William quickly drew his bow and fired 3 arrows in rapid succession. The arrows struck perfectly and pinned the bowl against a wall while it was still in the air. Everyone was impressed by William's incredible accuracy. After that, William and Tyler sat down and shared a meal with the others. Sometime later, the general summoned William and Tyler. He showed them a piece of magnet stone and said, "We found this in your bag." William nodded. "Yes, it belongs to me." The general replied, "This magnet has a strange power. It's the reason you were able to kill that coyote." He explained that whenever this magnetic stone gets close to a coyote, the creature becomes weak and calm. Then the general began explaining the history of the coyote. Many years ago, a volcano erupted on top of a mountain. The eruption awakened powerful waves of energy. From those waves, the coyote were born. Since then, they return once every 60 years to bring destruction to the world. All of them are controlled by a single queen. The more she eats, the more Tao Tei she creates. In other words, every Tao Tei serves the same queen and obeys her commands without question. Whatever she orders, they follow. If they want to stop the growing number of Tao Tei, they must kill the queen first. Once the queen dies, every Tao Tei will die as well. But killing her is far from easy. The Tao Tei constantly surround and protect their queen. Because of that, no threat can even get close to her, let alone kill her. Just then, a Tao Tei roar echoed from the Great Wall. The moment he heard it, the general rushed to the wall with several soldiers. There, they spotted a Tao Tei moving straight toward them. The creature suddenly charged at high speed. The soldiers were knocked to the ground. Then the Tao Tei lunged at Commander Lin. At the last second, the general shoved Commander Lin out of the way and drove his sword directly into the creature's mouth. But during the struggle, the Tao Tei clamped its jaws around the general's body. As a result, the general lost his life. Everyone was devastated by his death. Sometime later, William showed the magnetic stone to several people nearby and said, "We should capture a Tao Tei and test the magnet on it." Commander Lin immediately asked, "But how are we supposed to capture a Tao Tei?" At the same time, we see William's friend Tyler growing increasingly angry with him. As soon as William approached him, Tyler said furiously, "Have you lost your mind? Our goal is to take the black powder and get out of here. What exactly are you trying to do? When the next attack happens, we should stay focused on escaping, not helping these people." But William refused to listen to his friend. Afterward, the soldiers took their positions on top of the Great Wall. They coated their arrows with a yellow poisonous liquid. It was early morning, and a thick fog covered everything. From the top of the wall, no one could see what was happening below. Then, without warning, the Tao Tei began climbing the wall. Every soldier stationed there immediately attacked the creatures rising from below. At the same time, a giant rotating blade hidden in the middle of the wall was activated. The massive spinning weapon sliced through many of the climbing Tao Tei. In the middle of the battle, the commander ordered the giant harpoons to be fired. The harpoons had been coated with the same yellow poisonous liquid. They struck several Tao Tei advancing from below. However, the other Tao Tei nearby pulled the harpoons out of their bodies. Soon after, the creatures once again decided to retreat. But one Tao Tei was still tangled in a harpoon line. The soldiers began pulling hard on the chain to drag it back. Just then, William shouted, "Stop pulling so hard! Loosen the chain. Let the poison do its work. It will weaken the creature and eventually knock it unconscious." The soldiers followed William's advice and eased the tension on the chain. After waiting for a while, William used the chain to lower himself down and inspect the trapped Tao Tei. Once he reached the ground, he saw Tao Tei bodies scattered everywhere. William raised his bow and cautiously looked around, staying alert for danger, but he couldn't see any living Tao Tei nearby. Taking advantage of the moment, he wrapped the chain around one of the creatures lying on the ground. Then he shook the chain as a signal. "Pull it up, we got our target." Suddenly, a Tao Tei burst out of the fog and charged straight at him. William reacted instantly and shot an arrow directly into its eye. The fog was extremely thick, making it difficult for him to see very far. Then another Tao Tei attacked from behind, but at that moment, Tyler arrived and killed the creature. Tyler looked at William and said, "I'm only saving you so you can die by your own stupidity. You've gone crazy. We need to finish our mission and get out of here." While they were talking, more Tao Tei began emerging from the fog. The two men fought side by side and managed to kill every creature that came near them. But before long, thousands more Tao Tei started rushing toward them. The moment William saw the massive swarm, he realized they couldn't fight them all. He immediately fired an arrow toward the fortress above. It was a clear signal that he needed help. Commander Lin saw the signal arrow. Special arrows were quickly brought out and coated with black powder. Without wasting a second, the soldiers fired the black powder arrows down at the Tao Tei. As soon as the arrows struck, powerful explosions erupted. The black powder blasts tore many of the creatures into pieces. Meanwhile, William and Tyler looked around in shock. Then one of the black powder arrows landed dangerously close to William. A massive explosion followed. William was badly injured by the blast and began growing weaker. After the battle continued for some time, the Tao Tei once again retreated. The soldiers opened a gate at the base of the wall and brought William and Tyler back inside the fortress. Later, we see a captured Tao Tei locked inside a cage. The creature struggled violently, trying to break free. Then a man slowly brought the magnetic stone close to it. The moment the magnet approached, the Tao Tei became completely calm. This confirmed that their theory was correct. They realized that if someone carried the magnet, the creatures would not attack that person. Around the same time, they discovered that the Tao Tei were actually living in a massive area beneath the fortress. Soon after, many soldiers descended from the wall and headed toward that location. Meanwhile, Tyler and the old man secretly stole some black powder and prepared to escape. But before they could leave, William stepped in front of them and tried to stop Tyler. Tyler looked at him and said, "You've completely lost your mind. We came here for the black powder and now we finally have it. So it's time for us to leave." William replied, "I've spent my whole life fighting just to survive. But for the first time, I'm getting something more than food. I'm earning respect. We should stand with these people." Before William could do anything else, the old man cut a rope. A heavy load tied to it swung down and struck William in the head. Then the two men ran away. Nearby, a soldier who had been preparing food noticed the commotion. Soon afterward, William was taken prisoner. Commander Lin approached him and said, "Your friends stole black powder and escaped. And tell me this, how did you know about black powder in the first place?" William answered, "I tried my best to stop them. They attacked me and ran away." But Commander Lin didn't believe him. Just then, the soldier who had been cooking earlier arrived. He told Commander Lin, "I saw everything with my own eyes. William really did try to stop them. He's not responsible." Even so, Commander Lin ordered that William be locked in prison. Several days later, William was finally released. The moment he stepped outside, he was shocked by the destruction around him. He immediately asked a nearby man, "Where is Commander Lin?" The man replied, "It's over. We lost the war. We've been defeated. You can leave now. The creatures have already entered the city. No one can stop them anymore. In just a few days, the Tao Tei will wipe out everyone who is left." The man then added, "Since everything is doomed anyway, you can take as much black powder as you want. In a few days, none of this will matter." William asked again, "There has to be another way to stop them." The man replied, "There is only one way left. We have to kill the queen. But killing her won't be easy. Thousands of Tao Tei surround her at all times and protect her from any danger." Meanwhile, we see Commander Lin traveling through the air, but countless Tao Tei below were already launching deadly attacks against her group. Before long, several creatures climbed onto rooftops and attacked the parachutes carrying the soldiers. As a result, Lin and the others crashed to the ground. Without hesitation, Lin charged forward and drove a large spear straight into a Tao Tei's body. But the moment one creature died, many more arrived. They quickly surrounded Lin from every direction. Just when it seemed she was trapped, William appeared. He shouted at the top of his lungs, telling Lin to come toward him. As the Tao Tei moved in to kill Lin, she reacted quickly and leaped through the air, grabbing William's hand. But the nearby Tao Tei continued jumping upward, trying to reach and kill her. At that moment, William handed Lin a black powder bomb. Without wasting a second, she dropped it onto the Tao Tei below. A massive explosion followed. The blast killed all the creatures surrounding them. After that, the two used a parachute to glide into a nearby building. Inside, they found the captured Tao Tei that had been tied up earlier. Black powder bombs had been strapped all over its body. A pile of meat had also been placed in front of it. Their plan was simple. Once the creature ate the meat, it would return to its queen. The moment it reached her, William would shoot one of the black powder bombs with an arrow. The explosion would kill the queen. But suddenly, several Tao Tei began approaching the building. A soldier standing nearby tried to stop them. However, during the attack, one of the creatures bit into the soldier's arm. This was the same soldier whose life William had saved at the beginning of the story. William quickly killed the attacking Tao Tei and rushed over to check the soldier's injured arm. Looking at the wound, he said, "You're going to make it. You've been hurt, but you'll survive. We'll come back for you." A short distance later, another Tao Tei started moving toward them. The wounded soldier remained behind. He ignited the black powder wrapped around his arm. As the creature got close, the fuse burned down. A huge explosion erupted. Both the soldier and the Tao Tei were blown apart. Meanwhile, the others removed the magnetic stone from the captured Tao Tei. The moment the magnet was taken away, the creature regained its senses. It immediately broke free and rushed off to find its queen. William was pleased to see it leave. After all, its entire body was covered with black powder bombs. William quickly told Commander Lin to move higher. He believed it would be easier to take the shot from above. A short time later, the two reached a higher position. Nearby stood a man who was still carrying the magnetic stone. At that moment, more Tao Tei began rushing toward him. The man threw the magnet toward William and shouted, "Everything is in your hands now!" The moment he said those words, the Tao Tei killed him. Without wasting any time, William pulled out a black powder arrow. Far below, the queen stood surrounded by countless Tao Tei. The creatures completely covered her, protecting her from every direction. William took aim and fired at the queen. Just as the arrow was about to strike her, the surrounding Tao Tei spread their protective fins outward. The arrow hit them instead and was deflected into the air. The failed shot immediately put the entire swarm on alert. The Tao Tei began searching for the attacker, but couldn't see anyone nearby. William then told Commander Lin that they needed to climb even higher. The two moved farther up and prepared for another attempt. Once again, William fired at the queen, but just like before, the Tao Tei protected her and blocked the attack. This time, however, the queen looked up and spotted William and Commander Lin. Without hesitation, she moved one of her fins. The moment she gave the signal, every Tao Tei began charging toward William's position above. From above, William realized he had only one arrow left. No matter what happened, this final shot had to count. But by then, the Tao Tei had already climbed up to their position. Commander Lin threw a rope and secured it to a nearby structure. As the creatures closed in, both of them grabbed the rope and jumped. While swinging through the air, William threw the magnetic stone down into the middle of the swarm. The moment the magnet landed among them, all the Tao Tei suddenly became calm. Taking advantage of that brief moment, William fired his last arrow. The arrow struck one of the black powder bombs attached to the captured Tao Tei, but nothing happened. There was no explosion. For a moment, it seemed that all of William's efforts had been wasted. Then a few tiny sparks appeared. The sparks slowly grew stronger, and suddenly, a massive explosion erupted. The blast killed the queen along with the surrounding Tao Tei. The moment the queen died, millions of Tao Tei began collapsing to the ground. Within seconds, every single Tao Tei was dead. Afterward, we return to the fortress, where Tyler is still being held prisoner. William walks over to him. He says, "I was given two choices. I could take as much black powder as I wanted and leave, or I could use my reward to set you free." Tyler smiles and says, "I'm sure you chose the black powder. You've already walked away from enough people." William shakes his head. "No, I chose you." Moments later, Tyler is released from his cell. Around the same time, Commander Lin arrives. Her rank has now been greatly elevated. She thanks William and says, "If you hadn't been with us, none of us would have survived." In the next scene, William and Tyler are placed on horseback and sent on their way. Several soldiers accompany them to help guide them toward their destination. Above them, Commander Lin watches William as he rides away. And with that, the story comes to an end.